Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Sarah, and if you're new here, remember to subscribe and to give this video a thumb up. In my last video, I've talked about the reason why I was not very happy with living in Switzerland and how I tried to change my situation. But what are normally the reasons why expats don't like to live in Switzerland? I've asked these questions in an expats group, and these were the most common replies. First, the cost of living in Switzerland and the fact that the money that you earn do not take you very far. This is definitely true. I've talked about it in one of my previous videos. Of course, it depends on how much you earn. If you are an expat that have been moved here from your company, you normally earn enough money to live quite well in Switzerland. But if you are a normal foreigner that arrived here to look for a job in Switzerland, there are very high chances that you get paid a little bit less than the average, and therefore you definitely need to pay attention about how you spend the money that you earn. I will link my video down below about Swiss salary and the cost of living in Switzerland, so you can check it out and understand why money do not take you very far in Switzerland. Second, the language barrier, and this is true especially in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. I've heard a lot of people saying expats should really speak the language of the part of Switzerland where they're living, and in the German-speaking part of Switzerland this is actually a little bit more difficult, because it's not that you can just learn Swiss German. You need to learn German first, and then after you've learned German, then you basically have to learn another language, because Swiss German is very different from German. It doesn't mean that if you know German you also understand perfectly Swiss German, so it's like learning two different languages. Like, it's very difficult. It's not that easy to arrive in Switzerland and be able to understand Swiss German. I know a lot of German people that are here in Switzerland, and sometimes they're scared to talk with Swiss people because they don't understand what they reply. So I understand really the language barrier problem, and my suggestion is try to learn as much German as you can, and then try to watch Swiss TV. It's very useful when you watch the news, and then around you will start to understand the language slowly. But yeah, definitely the language is a big problem if you live in the German-speaking part of Switzerland. 3. Smoking. A lot of people say that in Switzerland people smoke a lot, and also, and this I agree, that a lot of people smoke weed in public, and I found this very shocking at first too, because in Italy you don't smoke weed in public. Like, you never really smell weed when you are outside on the street, while in Switzerland you smell that a lot. If it's a Saturday night and you are sitting along the river, there will always be weed smell. Switzerland is a lot more free in this sense, and so I understand why this annoys some people, that in Switzerland people smoke a lot more than in other countries. I don't know really, like I'm not sure, I cannot compare. Leave me a comment down below what you think if you live in Switzerland. The fourth thing that foreigners hate about Switzerland is that the food is 3 times more expensive but has absolutely no taste at all. This reason surprised me at first, because I haven't really thought about food, but also it's definitely true, because I remember that when I just moved here and I was going to the supermarket to buy stuff and then cooking stuff at home, I also noticed a lot of times that vegetables and fruit especially, sometimes I've no taste at all. I've never noticed that in Italy. Like, everything is very tasty in Italy. It's true in Switzerland sometimes, like some vegetables and some fruit do not have any taste at all. That the food is 3 times more expensive, yeah, that is definitely true, but that's also the reason why a lot of people go grocery shopping in Germany or in France, because there you can buy the same food a lot cheaper. I wouldn't really complain about that, because when I went to Norway, like, I went to the supermarket and I was shocked at how few choices there are there. Like, supermarkets are very small, like you don't have a lot to choose from, so I am more than happy with what I find in Switzerland. The fifth thing is that Swiss people are not friendly people. I definitely understand what they mean. It's very difficult to make friends with Swiss people, and they are not very open. They are very closed, but I definitely met very nice Swiss people that were very open, very friendly. I think that the secret is not to be too much concentrated on finding Swiss friends or meeting Swiss people. Try not to be too desperate, because you will really start meeting Swiss people, having Swiss friends, the moment that you stop looking for Swiss people and Swiss friends. For example, in my case, I just started to make friends. I started to make German friends, expats friends, and then all of a sudden I started having Swiss friends. It's good to look for friends once you move to Switzerland, but try not to be too fixed in finding Swiss friends. Like, a friend is a friend, and the more people you met, then the more you will meet. So just try to find new friends. Don't be fixed on finding Swiss friends or only expats friend. A friend is a person that you meet and you have a connection with, so it doesn't matter if this person is Swiss or not Swiss. So be open and you will find also Swiss friends too. The sixth thing that expats hate about Switzerland is that you come here, you arrive here hoping to have a better life, but instead this is not the case. Like, you end up struggling even more. I understand where this statement comes from. These people that say that are probably not expats but are foreigners working in Switzerland. And if you really want to know the difference between expats and a foreigner, I will leave the link of my video down below, The Truth About Swiss Salaries. This video is where I really explain the difference between a foreigner working in Switzerland and an expat working in Switzerland. If you are a foreigner and you're moving to Switzerland to have a better life, you have to struggle a lot. Like, in Switzerland, money do not grow on a tree. You have to struggle quite a lot. The seventh thing that foreigners don't like about Switzerland is that in Switzerland there is a very big gender bias, and in general there is this mentality that women should stay at home with the kids. I never really had this experience because I don't have a family, I don't have a husband, so I'm a single person in Switzerland. But it is definitely true that the first years that I was in Switzerland, everyone kept asking me, like when I was meeting new people, everyone kept asking me, and how many children do you have? Like, for me it was a bit weird because I was like 26, 27, 28 years old. So in Italy it's not that normal to have kids at that age, while in Switzerland it's very normal. And it's definitely true that when women have children in Switzerland, then they just stay at home. Like, here maternity leave is not that long, so women prefer to quit their job and be a stay-at-home mom. How about this gender bias? I haven't really experienced that. I've always worked in companies where my managers were female, but I can definitely understand how other people made this kind of experience. They have also told me a little bit about their stories. Plus, women were allowed to vote in Switzerland actually very late, so I definitely can understand why some people have this feeling when living in Switzerland. The eighth thing is that expats in general are seen as inferior to Swiss people. In a way, I think it's like this a little bit somewhere. Definitely this is a feeling that I also had in the past. I don't really care, like as long as I have a job, I pay my taxes, I consider myself the same level of a Swiss person, but I definitely understand that feeling. The ninth thing that foreigner hates about Switzerland is that when they move to Switzerland, it's very hard for the spouse to continue with the career or with the job that they had before. There are a lot of people, a lot of expats that arrive here in Switzerland because of work, so they are moved from their company to work here in Switzerland, and normally they come with the family, so with the spouse and kids. Most of the time it is very difficult for the spouse to continue with its work because you need to have Swiss degrees in order to do certain type of jobs. Then in other types of job you need to know the language of the place. But in a way, Switzerland is a very international country, so there are actually a lot more chances to find an English-speaking job in Switzerland than in a lot of other countries. The 10th reason why foreigners hate Switzerland, and I agree with this like 100%, is that in Switzerland a lot of people end up burned out. And I don't know if you saw my last video, that's exactly what I've been saying about Switzerland, the reason number one why I wanted to move to Norway, and that is that in Switzerland you need to work a lot. You need to work a lot of hours, you need to work overtime, and a lot of people like work so much that they burn out. Like, it's very common to talk about burnout in Switzerland. It's very common to hear that people burned out. So these are the top 10 things that foreigners don't like about Switzerland. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, they can go back to their own country, why they're here complaining. And the goal of this video is really for people that are looking into moving to Switzerland, to make them aware about the things that expats find a little bit difficult in Switzerland. We are not all the same, we don't like the same things, not all of us likes hiking, not all of us like nature. I think it's important, as I said before, to accept each other's opinion. If someone doesn't like Switzerland, I can understand that, I can accept it. I maybe have another opinion, maybe I can agree on certain things. It is important to respect each other. I hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comment box below what you think about these 10 things. As always, give this video a thumb up and remember to subscribe to my channel. See you next time. Bye!